Hey guys, this is the start of a mini-series for my channel. I'll be creating a short 2D action RPG. Think of nostalgic SNES game like Zelda or Secret of Mana, but smaller in scope. In this video, I'll be creating the player character, complete with basic movement and attack. Let me show you how I made this character. After creating a new project and importing the files, we can finally create the main scene of the game. After that, we can create the player node using a character body 2D. We'll also be using an animated sprite 2D to visualize the player. After that, we'll be using the imported asset to create the sprite frame that we'll be using on the game. As you can see, the pixel art is very blurry. This is because the texture filtering is set up wrong. Let's fix that by selecting the nearest filtering option. Now that the filtering option is perfect, we can start adding the animation. We'll be adding the idle animations, the walking animation, and the attacking animation. As you can see, we have an error on the character body 2D. To fix that error, we need to add the collision shape 2D. It will define the actual shape of the character body 2D. Let's try running our game. We haven't seen the player yet because we hadn't set up the camera. Let's do that right now. Let's try adjusting the zoom of the camera. We can finally see the player, but it's not playing the animation. Let's check why. This is because we forgot to click on the autoplay. Now it plays the idle animation. With all the nodes set up, we can finally start coding the game. Let's add a script. If you already coded in Arduino, these two functions are familiar to you. Our goal for today is to make the character move. But before doing that, we need to set up the keyboard bindings. After doing that, we are finally ready on writing the first code. The first thing that we need to do is to get the input vector. I decided that instead of an if statement, I will turn it into a variable so we can reuse the values. The first thing we do is checking for the length of the vector. If the vector is not equals to 0, it means the player is pressing something. And then we can use the vector to be added to the global position so the player can move. And then we are multiplying it by delta to avoid the movement being tied to the frame rate. Let's try running the game. I'm pressing the button but the player only moves a little bit. So let's add a speed variable. We can use that variable to multiply the movement vector. Let's try the game again. As you can see, the player can move faster now. Let's try tweaking the variable again. Now this is so much better. Now let's add the code to make the player face the direction they're moving to. We can do that by checking if the x component of the move vector is higher than 0. Since the property is controlled by a true or false value, we can just assign the expression to the variable itself, eliminating the need for an if statement. Let's try the game again. Looks like I switched the comparison. Let's change it. Now it works fine. As you can see, the player is now facing the direction it wants to move to. Time to add the walking animation. Our code for the animation is pretty rudimentary. It just checks if the player is moving and check if the animation is already playing. If not, it will play the according animation. Let's check if the animations are playing correctly. It seems like everything is working fine. Let's move on to the attack animation. Adding the attack animation is pretty complex because it needs to control the flow of the process function. The script needs to know three things. The player is not attacking and can attack. The player is currently attacking, or the player is done attacking. We can achieve that by using a variable and using built-in signals to communicate that the animation is done. You can see in this part that the player is stuck at the last frame of the attack animation. This is because I forgot to connect the animation signal to the code. Let's try to fix that. Our player can now move freely and attack without being stuck. The next goal for this mini project is adding enemies to the game. See you next time. Thanks for watching.